the cut newspaper pieces were really successful. At that point, I got representation in New York by a gallery who was historically a photography gallery, but he was starting to open his program up more, and he felt that the work you know, kind of went with his program because it had so much to do with images. And he's been fantastic, Rick Wester. He changed my life. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. He's a great champion of my work, no matter what I do. Well, if it's bad, he's not, but but he had a lot of contacts in the world of institutions. And so he was able to place the work in several museums, most notably the Morgan Library and also the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. So that was huge. That was, I mean, I could not have done that on my own, obviously, and it was great to have that kind of validation. It was also that there were some that were bought by the New Mexico Museum of Art when I was there, when I was still in Santa Fe. So I was doing that for a while, and things kind of, you know, as an artist, well, let's just say for me, I start to feel like what I'm doing, if I'm doing it for a number of years, I start to feel like it's not creating the challenges for me. It's not, I wanted to increase in scale quite a bit. And I also wanted to work with another material besides paper, because I'd been working with paper for so long. And I was really interested in textiles. So what I started doing was getting photographs from digital news sources from Central America and getting images of the caravan, the so-called caravan of people that were trying to come into this country during the Trump administration. And I printed them. I discovered that you can print on fabric with dye sublimation. I had an artist here, she's still here in the laundromat space, who did a lot of work on fabric, where she would print photographs on fabric. And she introduced me to this company that does these dye sublimation prints. So I started printing these photographs quite large onto blankets or felt. And then, because I still wanted to use my negative space, positive space kind of thing, I created an Illustrator file from kind of scribbling on the image on my computer and making that into an Illustrator file so that it would be paths, and I could send it to a somebody who does laser cutting. So, and these were quite large. So I needed to go to a laser cutter that had a bed that was large enough. 4 feet by 8 feet is about the largest that I've seen. And they would cut it. And then I would have an image that also, you know, parts of it would show and parts of it were cut away. And these would hang from a clothesline, or they would be pinned to the wall. And I really liked, they became much more poignant in a way, because they were on blankets, something that is supposed to be about security. They were cut away, so it seemed like it was kind of disintegrating, an image that was disintegrating. And my work, I feel my work is kind of an artifact of a particular period of time. And memories start to fade, you know, so in a sense, the subtext was that this is something that is here now, but we are really kind of destroying the humanity of what's happening. Then I started thinking that I would print on the back of them, and I printed the American flag on the back in black and white. So the front is the color image from the news source, and the back is the American flag, black and white. And my idea all along was that they would be hanging in a large space. You would walk into the space and see all of the colored images. And when you got to the back of the room, you would see the backs of them, the black and white American flag in tatters because of all the holes. So that was the next body of work I did. And that was shown in New York. We wanted to show it around the time of the election. And of course we were like, getting into the middle of the pandemic, and so it was shown, but it ended up being kind of into 2020, and was, you know, kind of not a great time to have a show, but it did get shown, and it's online. It's on my website and also on my gallery website. Now, I've moved beyond that also. We have a new president. He's trying his best, you know, whether he's doing a great job, you know, got to take the long view here. And so I've got a bunch of other things that I'm working on now. For the time being, I stopped doing the textiles.